Now, why did Tesla dive and fall down right after the Battery Day announcement? What's going on, guys? It's Justin from Pushing Profit. So let's go ahead and talk about this, right? So as you guys know, obviously Tesla stock had fell massively right after the Battery Day announcement. And I think it is really just due to the fact that there was a lot of hype behind it, and a lot of things just didn't, come up to the hype that was surrounding it, right? Now, even the day before Battery Day, right? Elon Musk had made a tweet, and he kind of like tried to lower the expectations of Battery Day, and a lot of people were kind of confused on why he did this, right? But I think given with the nature on what happened with Nikola, right, and the CEO of that company who recently stepped down and is now facing fraud SEC charges. There was a lot of hype behind Nikola, and a lot of the claims just seemed to be fake, fraudulent, and he just built a lot of hype. So with Elon, maybe he was just like, okay, well, there's a lot of hype behind this. Let me just try to kill it because the news that's gonna come from this day is not going to be the big news that everyone is expecting, right? Because a lot of people were, coming up with rumors of there's going to be a battery that could do 1 million miles and things of that nature. When in reality, the whole thing about Battery Day was just Elon Musk kind of talking about how he is, doing the logistics and infrastructure for Tesla, and how he's working around all these, obstacles to help reduce the cost of future Tesla cars, and just in the production to make things cheaper, so that in the future electric cars can be more affordable, and this way kind of drive more people to driving the self-sufficient energizing vehicles, so that we could kind of step away from gas guzzling vehicles, in order to prevent further destruction of this ecosystem of the whole world, with global warming and everything of that nature, right? So what he was saying was all good news, right? But it just wasn't the news that people were expecting, right? So that's really the issue. Now, the whole thing about, Tesla right now is Tesla's really the leader in the electric vehicle market. And that's because, just 5 years ago, right, there was really only 3 electric cars you could buy. And that was pretty much the Tesla Model X, Tesla Model S, and then the Toyota, I believe, right? And, or actually it was a Nissan, I'm sorry. And in reality, those were the only 3 options. But now we have so many other competitors. We have about 25 hybrid cars, and I think about 15 electric car options in the United States, right? So now we have all these competitors kind of competing for the same thing. But really, the only way to really dominate in this market is really with two things: price and performance. Now, this whole Battery Day announcement really kind of just revolved around price, and how Elon Musk is trying to work his hardest to bring down the price of Teslas in the future. However, the whole thing was people wanted to hear performance today. People wanted to hear that batteries are just gonna go much further, much longer, and things were gonna happen much sooner. A lot of the things that Elon discussed for Battery Day, they kind of seemed they were more long-term plans. They had more like 5 years, 10-year goals, versus what everyone expected, all the hype of, oh, this is happening now, right? And I think, there's just a lot of hype behind Battery Day, and Elon Musk himself. I mean, think about it. What other CEO in an American corporation has such a mass following like Elon Musk, right? Not too many, right? No, not a lot of billionaires just have that big following, all that hype. So with that hype, there could be some negativity that comes along with it. And that was, people had their expectations much, much higher. Elon Musk tried to do that tweet the other day to kind of lower those expectations, but it still wasn't enough. People had, these big, thoughts of what Tesla was going to announce, and it just did not happen, which led Tesla to falling down massively, right? Now, let's talk about this real quick. Is it a good time to buy Tesla now, right? We're going to talk about this from two different perspectives: from the perspective of a day trader and the perspective of an investor. Two separate vehicles, and no pun intended. I know we're talking about vehicles, but anyways, two separate vehicles in the stock market, but they do have similar goals, right? Making a profit. So now, talking about it from a investor, a long-term investor, right? And I know this channel is primarily around day trading and short-term strategies, but that doesn't necessarily mean that just because, I believe I could make profits off the fluctuation on the short term, that I shouldn't take advantage of long-term things. I think I disagree with that, right? You can't just say, oh, he's a day trader, he's not a long-term investor. Why can't you be the best of both worlds, right? Why I think I encourage everyone to have two accounts. Definitely two accounts. And I have made a video about this before that I regret not having two accounts, but I'm not gonna even go into that. But I think that, you know, as a long-term investor, right now it's still a good time to go into Tesla, right? And I say this because there's just still a lot of promise, and there's just a lot more for this overall market, right? We're just kind of in the beginning of the electric vehicle market. If you really think about it, it's really just the beginning of it. And honestly, this setback wasn't too bad. We'll go ahead and go into like the technical analysis so we could dive more deeply in it. But you know, that's really just a whole standpoint. I think as a long-term investor, you know, go ahead, put some money in, invest in long term. Now, again, don't put your whole entire life savings in Tesla. That's not what I'm recommending. I'm not saying for you to take out all your money from your 401k and put it into Tesla. None of that, right? I'm just saying, as a long-term investment, it might be fine to just add some shares into Tesla. Now, even if you can't afford a full share, you know, you have other brokerages now offering fractional shares. You could just put like maybe $50 into Tesla, right? Whatever you want to do. Now, going at it from a day trading perspective, we're gonna go ahead and hop into my laptop so we could get like a better analysis on what I think, you know, as a trader we should do. Now, again, just because I'm gonna give my technical analysis doesn't mean that you guys should, you know, trade exactly what I see, right? If you guys see value in it, then of course you guys could take advantage of the opportunity that presents itself. But again, you know, don't just copy whatever I say. You guys need to, you know, be self-sufficient, right? So let's go ahead and hop into my computer. Make sure to hit that like button and let's get it. Alright, so now we're officially on my computer screen. We're looking at Tesla and we're looking at the 180-day 4-hour chart. Now, the reason I have the large chart pulled up, like the large time frame, right, is just because when you look at things from a larger time frame, the support and resistance levels are more valid than looking at a short-term time frame, right? If I were to look at the 1 minute, 1 day chart, you know, any support and resistance, that's just the support and resistance for the intraday, right? And I like to look at the bigger picture, especially if we're looking at like a swing trade or something of that nature, just to see what the overall direction is, because you can't really determine what the overall direction of a stock is just based on the intraday. You need to look at a larger time frame, which is why I have the 4-hour pulled up. So with that being said, one of the first things I noticed is that right over here, let me just kind of draw it out. You could see that this drop right here was a resistance previously, right? So I just drew a line over here. So after the news of battery day, we fell tremendously, and I believe this was about a 15% drop, somewhere around there, right? Now, if you notice, this drop touches this support line over here, where before previously it was a resistance, right? Around the 10th of September. And then before the 10th of September, it was a support over here, a support over here, a support over here, and guess what? A resistance over here. Now, something that we learned is old resistance becomes new support. So we could see back in the day, you know, on the 8th month of this year, right, August, this was a resistance. Then we broke above that resistance. It ended up being a support. We went tremendously higher, touched this channel over here. Then we started falling down, became a support. Support, bounced off it, broke below that support, became resistance once again, just like it previously was. And then once again, now we touch this level. So something that we have to consider, right, is if we could hold above here, then, you know, we have the potential to, you know, either go back up to where we were at, like that 15 to 12 to 15% gain, or if we just continue rallying further, you know, this could be a potential 40% gain. So this could be a tremendous opportunity for a swing trade. But that's if we hold above this area. You know, just because we touch a support doesn't necessarily mean we're going to bounce back. And I think that's the problem a lot of people have with supports and resistances. They don't wait for the confirmation. They don't wait for the validation, right? So we just really got to wait to see if this bounces. Now, if this breaks below, something that we got to look at is what is a previous resistance that could be the next support. So the next area that I would look at that would be like a tremendously strong support would be this area right here. So I'll go ahead and actually draw a line over here, and you could see that if we do break this area over here, we have another way further down to go, which could be a potential another almost 15% down, right? And it's just because around here on the 7th month of the year, this was a resistance, it was a resistance, it was a resistance, and then at some point we just blasted through that resistance, right? And then it was also support over here. So again, those are really the only two options. I mean, we could move sideways and consolidate, but at a certain point the stock is going to move to, either up or down. So that's really what we got to watch out for, right? Is it going to bounce off the support and make new highs, or is it going to break the support and touch this resistance, right? So we just got to always be aware of what's going on, make a plan, make a strategy, when to enter, when to exit, right? I don't think we should trade blindly. That's not what we do as traders. We make a profit based off fluctuation, right? And that's regardless whether you're shorting a stock, whether you're going long, whether you're buying calls, whether you're buying puts, whatever your strategy is, just make sure you know when to enter and when to exit, right? Now let's go ahead and look at a smaller time frame real quick. So yeah, we again, like I said, we labeled that area. Now, if we're looking at the 5-minute chart, we could see that the linear regression channel, this is a support. So again, that's another sign. And I made a whole nother video talking about the linear regression channels. So if you want to check that out, feel free to. But also, we see that the MACD is like overly extended over here. We do see that the blue signal line is crossing over, which shows signs that we may have a potential uptrend. On the R side, we were oversold. We kind of just touched that area. So again, all signs kind of pointing towards a bounce. However, does not 100% guarantee that we're going to bounce back. A stock doesn't have to perform just like how you imagine it to perform, right? Now, if you're wondering what platform to use to trade Tesla, I always recommend and encourage traders to use the Webull platform. By the way, I do have a link in the description where if you sign up with that link using my code, you will be eligible to get one free stock, which could be valued up to $1,600, which you could use to fund your trading account, which is awesome. I know when I first signed up with Webull, the first free stock I got was a free share of Google. It was valued around $1,200, and I used that to fund my trading account. And yeah, so you never know what stock you could get, but of course, you have to sign up, make that deposit of $100 with that code, and there you go, you get your free stock. Webull is a powerful platform that allows you to trade after hours, right? Not a lot of brokers don't let you trade after hours. Webull lets you trade when the market is closed. So maybe you could have shorted Tesla on this area over here and made that, nice little profit of, 10% writing down. So again, that's just a platform I recommend to new traders if you don't have one already. And then with that being said, guys, if you guys haven't done so already, make sure to check out our other link in the description to join a free Facebook group. It's called the Push Your Profit group. It's really just a group of individuals interested in trading in the market, and in that group I typically include a nightly watch list of stocks that I am investing in long term, stocks that I am trading, or stocks that I am focusing on trading. Again, just because I have stocks that are listed on that watch list doesn't necessarily mean that you guys have to trade them. You guys just have to see if you guys find value in them. With that being said, guys, make sure to hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe, and again, my name is Justin from Push and Profit, and I'm out. Take care.